All right, all right. I love the chemistry the way with Chris Paul and Devin Booker, but a lot of people they feel like you know what this is how it would have been had you paired Kobe Bryant with Chris Paul. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. Okay, here's the thing. This is year one of Devin Booker and Chris Paul, right? So check this out. Devin Booker, he has not made it to the playoffs yet. Okay, prior to Chris Paul coming over there. All right, he has not made it to the playoffs yet. Monty Williams is not considered what he's starting to get more love now, but a lot of people they didn't look as Monty Williams as one of the great coaches currently in the NBA right now. Okay, I always believe he was a good coach, but I'm talking about the masses. All right, when you think about it, it's like okay, so if you're Chris Paul, it's like all right. I'm an NBA vet, 15th, 16th season. I have a lot of accomplishments and stuff. I'm a seasoned veteran. I can still play this game. And you know what? The thing about it is, the star players for the Suns, they're very young. And guess what? They're going to be more open to hear what he has to say. All right? As far as his leadership. And that's not no knock on it saying that his leadership is crappy. But in everybody's leadership, you can't apply it to everyone else. Because everybody else is different. And when you're leading somebody, when you're leading a team, everybody has different personalities. You got one player where you may have to put your arm around his shoulder or back. Be like, hey, man, do that. You got another player where you just going to have to fuss and yell at him. Everybody's different. You cannot treat anybody the exact same way. But you can be fair, okay? So you have to be able to figure out each individual's personality. Okay, everybody, what type of personality did Kobe Bryant have? Mamba mentality. You understand? Check this out. Now, it's one thing if Chris Paul and Kobe Bryant would have been joining up before Kobe Bryant won any championships and he's a young player. But it's a whole nother level. Kobe Bryant, check this out. He won 3 championships with Shaq. Okay? All right, you remember that? Yeah, I do. So the whole thing is that he cannot win without Shaq. He proved that he could win without Shaq. All right? Won 2 of them without Shaq. Got the 3 more finals, but won 2 out of 3 of them without Shaq. All right, so check this out. If Chris Paul came over there, the way Chris Paul is with his leadership, he's in your face and stuff like that. He's talking, very talkative and stuff like that. If you're Kobe Bryant, you're going to be thinking, listen, hey, I know you got a lot to say, you got a lot of input. 5-time champion. 5-time WCW champion. All my wrestling fans, Booker T, remember that. But 5-time NBA champion. 2-time NBA Finals MVP. All right? I'm Kobe Bryant. Okay? 5 out of 7 in the NBA Finals. All right? You're not going to do more talking than me, CP3. All right? You follow me. I'm the captain. I'm the captain. All right? See, Chris Paul going to Phoenix, it's a lot easier to take over and be the captain of the ship over there than it would be had he went to the Lakers. And here's the thing, Lakers fans, guess what? They love their Lakers. They have some very, very passionate fans. And even Laker fans, they're going to be like, hold up. You come over here and you defer to Kobe. All right? And I'm not saying Chris Paul needs to kiss the ring or anything like that. But see, that would be an ultimate test of his leadership, Because see, he went to the Clippers, and here's the thing. Yeah, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, the dunks, that was exciting. But they didn't make the playoffs yet. They had not made the playoffs yet when he got there, that team. So when he got there, hey, young team, and he has more postseason experience than the star players over there for the Clippers. So it's easier. And also, they had Vinny Del Negro was their coach for like the first 2 seasons when Chris Paul was there before Doc Rivers came. So here's the thing. He can come over there and take over and say, I'm the captain. I know you can fly and jump over Kias. I'm the captain. You know what I'm saying? So people comparing the Devin Booker thing with Chris Paul, thinking that it would have been the same with Kobe right there. No. Now, I think it would have taken longer. I think it probably maybe 2 seasons, maybe, to see if that will work. All right. But no, that's not, because to say that's how it would have been, that's to say that, okay, Devin Booker and Kobe Bryant is on the same level as far as leadership wise physically, as far as their game, their skill set, and mentally. All right, and they're just not on the same level. Now can Devin Booker get up to Kobe Bryant's level? I don't think he can ever get to Kobe Bryant's level, but I do believe that he can become a great player. I think he has superstar potential, but understand, all superstars are not on the same level. Because, see, you have stars, right? And then you have scaled 1 to 10 on stars. You know what I'm saying? They got a level 1 star, level 2 star, all right? Well, you know what? 5 levels. Got a level 1 through 5 type of stars. But then, guess what? You have your superstars. Kobe Bryant was a scale of 1 to 5, is a level 5 superstar. I think Devin Booker can get up to a level 2 superstar. And that's awesome. That's incredible. But listen, we're talking about Kobe Bryant, people. They have a whole type of leadership that's named after him. It's called Mamba mentality, okay? So CP3 wouldn't have been able to just come to the Lakers and just take that over like that. And also, if Phil Jackson was still the coach, yeah, you're going to have to play within the triangle. All right? So it's not going to, Chris Paul is not going to be allowed to go into isolation and constant high pick and rolls all the time. He's not going to be able to do that. You will have to play within the confines of the triangle. We saw that when Gary Payton and Karl Malone went to the Lakers. And I get it, they were a lot older, but prior to that season, remember, Gary Payton averaged like 17, 18 points a game. Karl Malone averaged about 19 points a game prior to that. So they could still get you buckets, but Karl Malone was used to the pick and roll offense in Utah. When he got to the Lakers, he had to play within the triangle. He was pretty much like Horace Grant, knocking down the open elbow jumper or baseline jumper. They wasn't doing a whole lot of Stockton and Malone type pick and rolls, okay? Because number one, Derek Fisher or Kobe Bryant, they're not passers like Stockton. As much as I love Gary Payton, he's not a better passer than Stockton, okay? Gary Payton is more used to, whenever he has little guards on him, he's going to post them up and he's going to knock down the open shots, and he's going to score and get his teammates involved the way he see fits within the flow of the offense. But in that triangle, you got to keep the ball moving. All right. People forget, you know what? For all of you youngsters, if you're not familiar with, Ron Harper was about a 20-point per game scorer. And when he got to the Bulls, okay, well, he averaged like 6-7 points a game because he had to play within the triangle. That's a different style of offense that he had when he was in Cleveland or when he was with the Clippers, okay? So you have to play within that style, and see, in that style at that time, it's Kobe. So now, would it have been interesting to see that pairing of Kobe and CP3? Oh, for sure. But you can't just guarantee that was going to work. It's about chemistry, people. It's just like when we saw LeBron and D Wade and Bosh. It took a while for them to develop that chemistry. And here's the thing. Somebody is going to have to compromise. D Wade eventually, he compromised and said, LeBron, you're the number one option. Chris Bosh had to compromise. You had to sacrifice. He became a stretch 4. And Chris Bosh, he can post up, hit shots from the elbow. He got a solid handle for a big, so he had to be out on the 3-point line where he can knock down the 3, but he's just out there the entire time. That's uncomfortable for him overall. That's taking away his numbers. So check this out. I don't see Kobe sacrificing shots. He's not going to sacrifice shots. He wasn't sacrificing shots with Shaq. That's why him and Shaq was Superman and Batman. There was never Batman and Robin. Like I say, Robin is not on the same level as a superhero as Kobe Bryant is, as Shaquille O'Neal is, okay? Kobe and Shaq, that's Batman and Superman. 2 elite level 5 superstars, all right? But it would have been interesting to see. And you know what? I think the better comparison would be to see on as far as a template goes, to see how a pairing of Kobe and Chris Paul could have been. A pairing that we actually got to see. That's the closest that we're ever going to see to that was Chris Paul and James Harden. The reason why I said that is because James Harden had won an MVP before Chris Paul there. James Harden had been to a finals with OKC. He led. I think they got to two Western Conference Finals in OKC, and he been to a Western Conference Finals with the Rockets before Chris Paul got there. What else? Did I say he won an MVP? And prior to Chris Paul joining the team, the past 4 out of the 5 years or whatever prior to that, James Harden had been like a top 4, top 3 vote getter as in the MVP running. Okay, so he could have had 2 MVPs, all right? And he's an all-NBA player, best shooting guard in the game. A lot of people say the best guard in the game. And James Harden knows how to pass the ball and get assists. I mean, James Harden is just an awesome guard. You know, you can't even put him as a 2 guard or a point guard because he can do it all at that position. And you know, they had, of course, they're going to butt heads and stuff because you're still trying to figure stuff out. And, you know, and there's nothing wrong with conflict. With conflict, you know, resolutions are more resolved after there is conflict, you know, because if you remember Chris Paul, Chris Paul and I think it was JJ Redick. He said he wished that the Chris Paul and Blake Griffin led Clippers teams, he wished that they would have engaged in more conflict because it seems like him and CP3 was just more passive aggressive, and that's why it didn't work. Maybe if they would have took on the problem head on, they could have came to a resolution maybe. But anyways, you know, year one it worked out well, you know, and the thing about it, what the chemistry was, it was like they both would take turns on dominating. You know, that's what they would do. But see, these are 2 ball dominant players, just like how Kobe and Chris Paul would have been. So, you know, a lot of people believe that it didn't work out because Harden wanted the ball more, CP3 wanted the ball more. Hey, man, it didn't work out because, you know, CP3's injuries. That's what it was. And the thing about it is, people, you look at Chris Paul now, you know, 2 years ago, no, you wouldn't have believed that Chris Paul would be performing the way he's performing. It took drastic measures in order for him to make a drastic change, which he modified his diet and changed the way he exercised, the way he prepared his body mentally and spiritually, you know, but that would not have happened had he not gotten traded to OKC. So, you know, but if he would have stayed on the same workout plan and same diet plan he was when he left Houston, before he left Houston, guess what? We would not see Chris Paul in the NBA Finals right now. We would not have saw the impressive year he had with the OKC Thunder last year. We would not have saw that. But you know, but it is something to wonder about, you know, that, you know, would they have won a championship? It's not guaranteed, people. It's not guaranteed. Remember, they didn't have Paul Gasol. They was going to trade Paul Gasol to my Rockets. I'm glad the trade did not work out because to me, Paul Gasol was past his prime. But they still had Bynum on the roster, and Bynum in the next couple years ended up having severe injuries and stuff. So, you know, I mean, so who knows how that would have worked, right? But yeah, I just don't think you can look at what Chris Paul and Devin Booker is doing and automatically say, well, yeah, that's how it would have been with Kobe. No, Devin Booker is going to defer because he's still a young player. He has not accomplished a lot in the NBA, okay? Kobe was already seasoned and accomplished, was already a first ballot Hall of Famer for sure, okay? Was already the best player in the world around that time, or at least top 3, okay? So, I mean, Chris Paul wasn't above Kobe around that time, all right? So it was a totally different levels, people. But it is something to wonder about and talk about, you know. But I'm glad the trade didn't go through. The only reason being because I didn't like all the players my Rockets gave up, and we got Paul Gasol. No, I was a fan of Gasol, but I felt like Gasol started having injuries. And here's the thing: we just got over the Yao Ming being hurt for his career the previous season. Now to get another big in who's possibly going to have, you know, a lot of injuries, you know, that would be devastating as a Rockets fan. But anyways, hey, share your thoughts. Tell me, do you think that if Chris Paul and Kobe Bryant, do you think, like, based on what we're seeing with CP3 and Devin Booker, do you feel like that automatically means that Kobe Bryant and CP3 would have been able to excel and be able to gel together to the point where they will be able to win a championship? You know, share your thoughts down below. Tell me what you think. Hit that like button and that subscribe button if you're watching the podcast.